So thank you so much for taking your time and attending the conference. I'm extremely proud of this conference because it's free, and in this day and age, free things are becoming rarer and rarer. So I need to thank all the people that actually have made this possible, because this is one of those collaborations where everybody brings a little bit, and all together we can make things happen. I'm going to start thanking very briefly the people that have worked, which is Ozden Shaheen and James Bully from Goldsmiths, and I'm going to thank Irene for the Courtauld. The other thing I would like to say is John Driver, John Driver, I need to say thank you to him wherever he is at the moment. I hope he's not here so he doesn't know that yes he is. I massacred his last name. John, thank you so much for all your help, your support. This would have not been able to happen, wouldn't have happened without you. As you can see, OCR is an organization that has moved very quickly in the past year and a half, and the focus is to create events of this kind that deal with curatorial issues in the fine arts. This is one of a series of conferences that will happen over the years. The person that I also need to thank that made this event possible is Morten Søndergaard from Aalborg University. And this is part of Alarm Project, which is a sound organization in Denmark. Morten, thank you very much for this. And finally, at Goldsmiths, there is somebody that is an enabler. Yesterday, I was at Birmingham University, and I was talking about matriarchy, and I was talking about the goddess and the great Mediterranean mother. So for me, I want to say thank you to Janis Jefferies, who is hiding and thinking I'm mad. The other person I would like to say thank you to is Atao Tanaka, who is here with us, and all the great keynotes that have agreed to participate into the conference. I hope you will have a great time, you will make loads of connections, and there will be loads of projects going on. The conference is going to be advertised on eFlux. We will have an exhibition that is going to be distributed online that will start today with some of the artworks from some of the speakers and artists that are taking part into the conference. And I will pass my microphone to Morten Søndergaard to give a brief address, and then to Janis Jefferies.
And also welcome from me. Can you hear me? Yes. Good. Yeah, so this is really the first, you might say, the first part of the series of conferences that it will focus on sound art curating as a generic and unique field of practice, research and study. It's been co-founded by Larm, as this hopeless Danish word, I know it's Danish means noise. And its Alarm was research infrastructure focusing on sound in archives and how to archive sound. So it was co-founded by Alarm, and as such, this conference series will address the situation where curating is an essential yet epistemologically underexposed part of what was going on in LAM as a methodological layer moving across many of the different and very different, I might add, projects in LAM. So it was quite clear to us that the ways curating was made operational in these research projects were very different from each other, and showing therefore a high degree of complexity that exists in this field of sound art curating. Yet nobody could actually precisely define what that was. And I don't know if we will go home in 3 days and know that, but let's see. We had two previous smaller events, seminars going on in March last year in Aarhus, and one at Aceti in Courtauld in August, slightly bigger. But this is really the truly first conference in sound art, focusing on sound art curating. I would just briefly say that the focus on sound art curating for me goes, of course, much further back than to LARM. Professionally, it began already in the late 80s, but became a serious issue for me in 1999 when I was employed at the Museum of Contemporary Art in Roskilde in Denmark. That museum, that particular museum, had a focus on and a collection of sound art based on a wider focus on performance art and fluxes in particular, and new media art in general. So back then, sound art was fringe and experimental, and as such we were exploring it and curating it. Today, sound art seems to have left the fringe and moved, if not center stage, then at least nearer to it. Also curating in that period of time, which is not that long actually, has been transforming from being mostly a gallery museum function to emerging as a much wider generic metaphor for framing and directing artistic and creative processes. Well, we can argue that point, I guess. We think it is time to look at the two transforming fields together and investigate where they intersect. To establish sound art curating as an organized field of study and investigate the histories, theories, practices, and methodologies of this field. So, I am looking forward to discussing these matters with you all these next 3 days. And without much further ado, I will just,
Thank you so much.
Yes.
Thank you. Janis?
Yes, I don't want to fall off the stage too soon. Thank you very, very much. You're warmly welcome to Goldsmiths. I am Janis Jefferies. I'm Professor of Visual Arts and I'm an Associate Pro Warden for Creative and Cultural Industries. So I suppose I'm the senior Goldsmiths person here. So one has to do, rightly so, these warm welcomes to all our international friends and colleagues from Lithuania and China, from Denmark and from Canada. So we have a very international event, and New York and Washington. Anyway, we shouldn't have too much of a shopping list. But you are welcome to Goldsmiths if you've not been before. It's a really dynamic and international institution. A lot of wonderful colleagues are also here from Goldsmiths. It's very strong in the senses, particularly on sound and touch, not just in terms of art. And Julian's here from MediaComms, who's one of the drivers of that area of sound practices and activities, which he might wish to say something about later. Anyway, I do have to say a couple of things which are called the domestics. Every matriarch has to deal with domestics, so it falls to me to do this. Firstly, if you don't know where the bathrooms are, they're straight, beautifully unisex ones across the way. There is the back field, which in case there is a fire alarm, I doubt it very much, we can either go there or we go outside here and to the roadway. The final thing to say is that it is part of the Graduate School Festival, which is an annual event. We have a number of PhD students across this institution, as well as with our partners in the Courtauld, University of Kent, and another menu list, who organise this festival to bring in research and vision and lots of interdisciplinary activities. So if you have time, there is a show that's been organised by Wayne from music and Susanna from Curating in the art department, which is on the back field. And if you can't find it, I know Julian can show you. It's in the atrium in the new media building. And then students from anthropology who've organised a folkloric extravaganza using another set of archives in Deptford Town Hall, and that opens at 12. But if you're feeling like you need bodily movement later on, 5:30, you can participate in the folk. That's the end from me. You're warmly welcome. If you need anything during the day, please ask any of us, and we'll do our best to assist you.
Thank you so much. And we can actually start on time, 9:59. We can start sharp on time with the first panel. Thank you so much and have a wonderful time. Thanks.